What's going on, guys? I'm back with another stream. We're here with episode 59 of Let's Talk. Now, I tried doing a stream yesterday, but it didn't turn out good, so I deleted it. And, well, obviously, I'm redoing it now. A lot of you guys have been asking me what my preferred web browser is. Now, the reason for that is, again, I got I got asked, why is it that I switch browsers so frequently? I've gone from Chrome to Opera to Firefox to Safari to IE. And not all on video, but I talk about them pretty frequently on Twitter. If there's like an update or whatever, how I believe this current update is and how the one is going to be in the future. So what ended up happening was a lot of you guys requested me to just make a stream discussing what best suits you in terms of choosing a web browser. So let's get started. Now, first things first, I am going to introduce Opera. I'm going to talk about Opera, Chrome, Firefox, IE, and Safari. None of the other ones. Those are the top 5 most popular internet web browsers in the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, first things first, if you guys know me at all, you know that I'm a pretty big fan of Opera. It's pretty evident. I think I've made it pretty damn clear, that I like Opera. Now, a lot of people don't know that Opera does not only have just one web browser, they also have a beta phase of their web browser. Now, as well as that, they also have another totally different web browser by the owner of Opera using other technicians and other people to produce Vivaldi. Now, early January, it was released as a tech preview. It's kind of like Windows 10. It's not in a full phase out yet. So that being said, they've only given us a tech preview of browser. But regardless, I seem to think it works great. Yeah, it does have a few flaws. It bugs out quite frequently. But again, it's just a tech preview, so I'm not expecting it to be, the cream of the crop in terms of the web browsers. Now, I do expect it when the beta phase comes out or an official version is released, uh, they will cover up most of the issues that are evident and present right now, as this has been out for several months in preview mode. Now, if it isn't like that and they're just going to do it over time through updates, again, I would hope they do update at least once monthly because, again, you got to keep it consistent and updates are needed. A lot of people don't realize that every update you install does take up space, not only in your computer, but actually through the web browser. Like when you install a bookmark, the web browser does have, it's kind of like a storage thing that you can only put up to like X amount of million of bookmarks, but some web browsers do have a smaller limit, like 10,000 bookmarks, 100,000 bookmarks. Um, but generally, a lot of people don't realize that there are actually limits to bookmarks. Not all web browsers have them, but a majority of them do. Now, obviously, are we going to get to the extent and the point that we're going to realize that? No. That's the main reason. And I actually did research that. So I will link down below the website that I read that on for you guys to look yourself in case you guys do not believe me and think that I'm bullshitting. So other than that, I did also want to mention web browsers vary not only in storage but in features and whatnot. So I'm going to be pulling up a let's see if I can throw up the history here. I don't know how to do this. Um, so I'm just going to pull that up right now. And personally speaking, guys, if you are familiar, or actually, if you guys do catch anything that's wrong that I've mentioned or whatever, you want to correct me, feel free to do so. Obviously, it's not going to kill you. I'm not going to bite. I'm not a cannibalist, so no worries there. But seriously, feel free to correct me. Feel free to express your thoughts on my opinion. So, ironically, give your opinion on my opinion. Now, again, please keep it reasonable, keep it polite. I don't want to keep expressing. I can't express enough how important it is that people are polite over the internet because it just starts feuds. And it's absolutely pointless because it gets to the point where people just really They go at it with each other over stupid shit, man. There was I was looking at some Tupac documentaries, and the people fight in the comment section. It's like a world war, but virtual. So I just think it's kind of crazy that that type of stuff actually happens. Um, Personally, I don't see why people take it to that extent, but hey, they do what they do. I can't say that I had never done that because I have. Um, but again, it's just stupidity. But anyways, back to the topic. A lot of people they change web browsers because they're either not liking the one they're using because of speed, it lacks in efficiency, or it doesn't have the support and features that they want. Now, I did pull up the page. The top three browsers are Opera coming in at three, Chrome in second, and something I was actually surprised to see, Firefox in first. The reason for that is I'm actually surprised that Chrome is second, being that features wise, we're going to pull that up and see the score for Chrome in terms of features. If this Sorry guys, it's trying to. I do got to wipe the computer clean and reinstall Windows 8 on it. It's just so unbearable, guys. That it's like, you don't want to be dealing with this type of stuff. Um, but again, it's a matter of opinion and as well what you're looking for. Um, if you're looking for something like a lot of people like Chrome because it ties into Google, which is their main search engine. So it kind of makes it a little more efficient that way. But again, and the fact that a lot of people have Gmail and it's all tied into the web browser, it makes it kind of neat because it ties into everything, right? Now, me personally, I like the way that people. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I like the way that people. It varies from what people look at. Like people can look at a web browser for so many different reasons: speed and compatibility, features, security, support. And then the general sense. Um, I'm running it down specifically. So the initial startup time, average startup time, navigation time, my bad, mobile browser app, which is if that has the version, synchronization, which is like I mentioned, it ties into Gmail and all that with Chrome. Um, Again, bookmarks, it's just about it's like that with every web browser, it synchronizes bookmarks. Features, tabbed browsing, bookmarks, integrated search engine, which is Chrome and Google have. Google owns, they made Google Chrome, but obviously, but you guys are my point. Like Opera does not have their own search engine, but again, it's not a huge deal. Microsoft, when they released not only the IE, they also released Bing as an individual app on Windows 8. I really, really liked it. However, they took it out with the Windows 8 update. I didn't really like that, but whatever. But that was an integration with the integrated search engine into the web browser itself. Like Firefox, I'm not aware has its own web browser search engine. So again, add-ons, not hard-ons, but add-ons like extensions, um, ad blockers, save tabs. I'm not too sure exactly what that means, but save tabs. Customization options. And these are all features that I'm reading from tabs browsing, bookmarks, integrated search engine add-ons, save tabs, customization options, zoom, find on page function, which is great if you're on Wikipedia and I've used this feature. Um, um, for school with Wikipedia, you're looking for one word or whatever because you want to figure out you want to find where you left off. That's what I use that for. Um, Password manager, that's pretty neat. Autofill. Now this is something just what every web browser has. This like to date. Automatic updates. Every web browser has that generally. Spell check is similar to autofill and it runs on the same type of thing. Seamless download manager. I do got to say, Opera has, I think personally, the best. This is where Firefox and Opera kind of clash. Firefox and Opera have the fastest downloading processor of any other, like like general web browser. Um, Mouse gestures, Opera has, Chrome has, and Firefox have. Voice integration. This is where it's actually the last, and then Google Chrome and Firefox are the only two that have it in the top five. Well, for open source development. Voice integration. Now, this is where Google Chrome, I think, really hit it off. I think they're the ones who started voice integration in their web browsing experience. With Google Now's launcher with Android, the Google Search app, Google Chrome's voice integration with the mobile and PC version, like the mobile and computer version, sorry. Um, Open source development, I've already mentioned. Parental controls. I didn't realize Opera didn't have that. I'm not going to lie. That's not something I've tied into. I don't have kids, so me and parental controls do not clash clans. Hope you guys get the reference. Security. Now, this is something where it's really, really, really critical. Just so I'm going to talk to you guys from browser 8 all the way to the number one browser under security. The only thing, and this is the Maxthon that does not have this, anti-phishing. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm not aware of what that means, obviously. That's the only thing. The first 8, so from 8 to 1, that's the only thing that is missing from Maxthon. Everything else is a check for all categories under all 8. So that includes pop-up blocker, clear data, anti-spyware, antivirus, anti-phishing, private mode. Now, in terms of private mode, a lot of people, including me, don't really know exactly what it's there for, other than if you go into the library or whatever, and you don't want it to save anything under the cache, any passwords, any messages. Like a lot of people think, so like go in private mode. If let's say I want to do something, like I search up how to kill somebody, and the police will never find it. No, because it doesn't save to the cache of the web browser, but it saves to your actual hard drive as a search location. It saves to everything. Like when you go under the download file and you open, let's say, Opera, or whatever, because I'm just using Opera as an example because that's what I use. Under the download link, under your PC, under downloads, that's where I save it. And I right-click and I say open file or whatever it says. You can go, and I'm going to actually do that now. You can go and check what you've searched for, regardless whether or not it's cached on the web browser. So I really do believe that people have to be more aware of what they are, or more importantly, aren't doing. So again, private mode is pretty neat though. So for help and support, I'm actually kind of surprised. Opera kicks ass. Chrome and Firefox do not have telephone support. I didn't realize that. I would have thought they did because I know you have Google Contact Me, but again, it's Chrome itself and Firefox. They didn't have that. Opera does have that. They have online knowledge-based user guide, user forums, FAQs, tutorials, email support, and telephone support, as I just mentioned. Now, this is where it gets really, really cool, where it's supported. So supported configurations, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows XP, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. Opera and Chrome, as well as, Maxthon. So 2, 3, and 7 browsers, 2, 3, and 7 on the top 10, are the only 3 that feature the support configuration for Windows 8, 7, Vista, Windows XP, Mac OS, all versions, Android, and iOS, all versions. So really cool. So that basically ties down like what people look in. Now, me personally, I look into the speed and compatibility, then security, and then features. Speed and compatibility, and we're going to look at this, ease of use. I'm not going to lie, I would have thought that Firefox is pretty basic, it's straightforward. Opera is an 85, whereas Chrome and Firefox are the two top competitors, and being at 95. So I'm kind of confused, to be honest with you, because I didn't really think, like, if Vivaldi got on here, because it doesn't have a beta phase or an official release, it's not going to be on here, and plus it's still really new, so it's not going to have enough, use. These are all browsers, again, that have been used for at least a year. Um, but give it time. I do got to say, Opera actually impressed me. I love the speed dial, and especially the Opera, the CEO of Opera introduced that with Vivaldi. I love it. I imported my Opera bookmarks into Vivaldi. I love it. Um, Again, the initial startup time in seconds, I'm actually surprised. It's 2.2 seconds. One thing I'm really, really, really surprised is the fact that Firefox is the fastest starting up browser. It starts up the fastest. Average startup time, so I'm not sure exactly how that happens that it gets slower, but is 1.9 seconds for Firefox, 1.7 for Chrome, and 1.8 for Opera. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Safari and IE just because they're less popular, but I will include them just for the sake of this video to be fair for those who do use them. Um, Navigation time is 3.21, for Firefox, 5.29, which is very high, and considerably one of the highest, second highest. No, I lied, not second highest, but one of the highest ratings for the percentage out of 10 of navigation time is 5.29 for Chrome, 3.29 for Opera. So again, navigation time is just under by 8 seconds. 8 hundredths of a second for Firefox. Being Firefox is 3.21 and Opera is 3.29. So very, very close gap behind Firefox with Opera. Now, me personally, I'm not trying to make it sound like a race, I'm just saying. But with mobile browser app, I really gotta say this is actually really cool. I did not know. Um, so I'm just looking down here at the bottom. I didn't know that IE, did not have. I don't know why I thought it had a a mobile platform. I thought it did for some reason. Synchronization, every one of them has that except the last two, which is Advanced Browser and Deep Net Explorer. So it doesn't go that deep now. Okay, that was kind of weird. But seriously, guys, I did want to mention Opera, Chrome, Firefox, Safari. I'm not going to say this for IE because, again, I don't use IE at all. Safari, I use on my iPhone, so I can kind of give it some credit in terms of featuring it, but I really can't do that and say the same for IE. With Safari, the only thing that lacked was speed. Now, I wish they would do this for only like if you can do this not only for PC but as well all these ratings and numbers for the mobile version. This is overall, obviously, it's like a sky based, whatever the hell they're called, like off the top numbers. But these are pretty much the breaking points. If you guys are going to be choosing a browser, and again, I do have Firefox. I don't use Firefox very often, but when I do, you know, I know I kind of stole it from the beer commercial, but I don't really like Firefox too much. I love the fact that it's got that conversation starter on the top next to the homepage button. I really like that. It has it down. It's so out and open. Like it's not like Opera. Opera, in a way, kind of dumbs it down because you have to look for stuff. Whereas this, everything is there. What's not there is because it's not involved. It doesn't have anything to do with this browser. So I like that. But again, with Chrome, I have Chrome. I haven't used Chrome for the longest time. I still have some programs that open by default in Chrome, but I don't use Chrome just because it's really slow to me. I just refuse to use it. But generally speaking, I'm going to open it. It takes quite a bit longer to open. And that being said, I'm not really sure if I'm really willing to, actually get out there and check what Chrome has to be like what Chrome is about now. Like I do see there's probably going to be at least an update. I really don't know, to be honest. One thing I also did want to mention, Chrome and IE are, I think, the only two that have a Windows 8 version. I know it's kind of minimal, it's kind of minor, sorry, not minimal, but I just thought I might mention that as like an honorable mention. It's the only one those are the only two that I'm aware of at the moment that have a Windows 8 version. So you can own it. That means you can open it up in Windows 8 mode. I really like that. Um, really cool. I really like it. Um, it's just it's a matter of knowing what you're doing with your browser. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if you're going to be looking through things in private mode over the internet of a public hotspot or a public server or whatever, you got to really be careful because a lot of people, and again, that's why I mentioned caching. Delete cookies that aren't needed. Like with Vivaldi, the one really, really big thing that I love that they've done is actually showing you guys with a number next to it in settings. I'm going to open settings here, and you're going to go. We're going to go to privacy, and I love that it shows passwords. I think that is the coolest. Um, so we're going to go, and it's going to say cookies. You can filter by domain, but it shows the cookie count. I'm going to look for one cookie. I don't know exactly what cookies are, but I know what cookies are. I don't know what those types of cookies are. But you know what I mean, guys? You got to know what it is you're doing with the web browser. I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to make part 2 tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Rate, subscribe, and comment. Thumbs up, like, and share. If you guys would like to see more videos tying into similar stuff like this, please let me know down below in the comment section. And until next time, guys, rate, subscribe, and comment. Thumbs up, like, and share. Peace.